Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a massive, almost invisible shift happening right under our noses. We're going to explore how the digital economy is quietly, but entirely, rewriting the rules of what you actually own. It's a fundamental change in our relationship with our stuff, and it affects literally everything from the movies we watch to the cars we drive.
So think about the last time you bought a movie, a TV series, an ebook, or a game on your favorite app. You hit that Buy Now button, right? But what are you actually getting? Well, in the digital era, you usually aren't buying the item itself at all. You are just paying for a license. It's basically a permission slip to access the content. And the really scary part? That digital purchase, your movies, your music, your books, can vanish from your library completely without warning and with zero recourse if the provider loses the rights or just decides to shut down.
The invisible trapdoor making all of this perfectly legal is the End User License Agreement, or EULA. You know, that massive wall of text we all just scroll straight to the bottom of and click agree? Yeah, well, those unilateral, non-negotiable contracts legally strip away your complete ownership. They literally turn you from an owner into a renter. Under a EULA, a company can just discontinue your perpetual license out of nowhere and replace it with a subscription model. They'll often bundle it with unwanted features and slap on extra fees just so you can keep using what you thought you already owned.
Now, if the EULA is the legal contract, Digital Rights Management, or DRM, is the digital bouncer enforcing it. DRM uses technical measures to dictate exactly how, when, and on what hardware you're even allowed to use a digital product. It ties your purchases to specific accounts or limits them to highly specific, authorized devices. In a lot of cases, it means your product requires regular, online license renewals just to keep functioning. Basically, if their servers go down, you are completely locked out of your own property.
But here's the thing. This isn't just about MP3s or ebooks anymore. This loss of ownership is bleeding straight into the physical world. Because of the Internet of Things, devices you physically hold in your hands, your smart home gadgets, thermostats, ebook readers, security cameras, and computers can just stop working. They become expensive paperweights the second a company decides to discontinue support. And it gets crazier. Physical features built right into hardware, like autonomous driving or even the seat warmers in modern cars, are increasingly locked behind software paywalls, demanding monthly subscriptions to unlock things already installed in your vehicle.
To show you just how real this threat is, let's look at an unbelievable situation from October 2023. When the electric vehicle company WM Motor filed for bankruptcy, their back-end servers obviously went offline. Well, almost immediately, owners discovered that their Bluetooth keys and remote control functions completely failed. Their highly advanced, incredibly expensive vehicles were instantly degraded, devolving into what frustrated owners literally called a retarded car. A simple corporate bankruptcy instantly stripped consumers of their physical property's core functions. No software, no car.
Which brings us to the psychology of ownership and why tangible goods retain such unseen value.
We really have to ask ourselves a fundamental question here. With all the undeniable convenience of digital media, why do so many of us still fiercely crave physical objects? I mean, look at them side by side. Digital distribution obviously offers incredible instant gratification, right? It syncs across your devices, it saves a ton of physical space, but physical media guarantees something digital currently cannot: permanent access. When you own a physical disc or book, you have true ownership, completely free from any account dependencies. You actually have real resale value, and most importantly, your collection is 100% immune to digital store closures.
And there's actual hard data backing this up. Researchers at Wharton did a fascinating marketing study proving that we place a measurably higher financial value on tangible goods. When they asked students what they would pay for a textbook, the students were willing to pay significantly more to buy a physical copy than to rent one. Makes sense. But when it came to a digital textbook, they were willing to pay roughly the exact same amount to buy it as they were to rent it. Because deep down, we instinctively know that buying digital is basically just long-term renting. We just cannot establish true psychological ownership over a digital file.
This directly ties into who we are as individuals, too. That same Wharton study looked at purchase intentions for the movie The Empire Strikes Back. They found that when a product is deeply relevant to a consumer's personal identity, like, say, you're a massive Star Wars fan, your desire for a physical, permanent connection to it absolutely skyrockets. If a franchise is part of your identity, a little digital file tucked away on a server somewhere just doesn't cut it. You want that physical box sitting on your shelf to actually signify your connection to the art. Now let's shift to the broader cultural cost: privacy, preservation, and the existential threat to libraries.
You see, the erosion of ownership isn't just a consumer rights issue, it actively threatens our collective history. Have you ever noticed how digital content like ebooks, streaming movies, or music can literally be altered after you purchase it, sometimes without any notice or consent whatsoever? A scene is quietly cut, a word gets changed. Tangible CDs and books are the frontline defenders of artistic preservation here. If a publisher wants to censor a physical book, they have to physically recall, recut, and mass reproduce millions of copies, which is incredibly difficult and expensive. Digital streaming, on the other hand, allows for instant, totally invisible censorship.
This invisible control is also creating an absolute institutional crisis for one of our most beloved public spaces, libraries. Libraries are rapidly transforming from independent cultural archives into highly monitored digital storefronts. Because of digital licensing, libraries often don't even own their electronic copies anymore. Publishers can enforce absurd self-destruction limits, like HarperCollins automatically terminating access to an ebook after just 26 lens. So the final decision on what you can read shifts from your trusted local librarian directly to an invisible corporate supplier. And honestly, even worse, digital networks actively track your reading habits. Software like Adobe can literally record how long you stay on a specific page, entirely shattering the privacy libraries have traditionally protected.
But it's not all doom and gloom. Let's talk about the physical pushback and the fight for tangible media in a digital world.
A passionate resistance is absolutely forming, and looking at this timeline reveals a really fascinating paradox. On one hand, you have the massive dangers of digital reliance, like the WM Motor bankruptcy. You've got major retailers like Best Buy officially abandoning in-store physical media sales in early 2024. You even have hardware giants like Fossil exiting the smartwatch market and stranding their users. Yet in direct response to all of this, boutique physical media labels like Arrow and Shout Factory are fueling a massive collector-driven revival. People are actively seeking out high-quality 4K and Blu-ray releases just to ensure they actually finally own the art they love.
However, to remain completely objective here, we do have to highlight a really surprising and important fact from GameSpot. While physical media absolutely protects your ownership, it presents a very real ethical trade-off. Producing and shipping physical games is roughly 100 times more carbon-intensive than simply distributing them digitally. That is a massive environmental cost that we all have to weigh against our desire for tangible ownership.
There is also a stark economic warning coming straight from consumers themselves. As one user in a game collecting community brilliantly pointed out, physical retail keeps digital storefronts honest. When you have actual discs sitting in physical stores, platforms are forced to compete on price. But if the physical market dies and digital storefronts become total monopolies, they are inevitably going to drive up prices and kill off discounting for sure.
Ultimately, this whole discussion brings us to a really profound thought from scholar Han Rong. As technology races forward, we are basically fighting to maintain our autonomy, our fundamental right to control the things we buy. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to take a hard look at your massive digital library today. Look at your smart home gadgets, your digital games, your ebooks, and your streaming playlists. When the corporate servers finally go dark, what will you actually have left to call your own?